Yo, what is up, guys? Mike Thomas, aka the Young Trishly here, and I am back once again today with something that I promised you guys like a month ago, and I have forgotten about repeatedly, and that is the updated Dragon Link deck profile. It's kind of like a Dragoonity Dragon Link deck. And I know it's been a little bit, so in this video, because I am so generous recently, I'm going to be including kind of like the turn 1 combo, just as a refresher for anybody who missed the previous videos. But if you do want to go check out those previous videos where I go over like multiple replays with the deck, go to the channel. They're in there. So go check out the previous video. But before we hop into that, I need you guys to do just a couple quick things. First, I need you guys to go down into the comments and say thank you for being so generous and including the combo in this video so that you don't have to watch 2 videos to learn everything, because this is mostly the deck list, but also the combo. And I also need you to like and subscribe while you're down there. Also, on top of that, you need to say hi to Twitch chat, because they're over here still. I forgot to introduce them. So they can say hi. We're still live over on twitch.tv/TrishlyTTV. Come check us out. Other little housekeeping things is, while you're down in the liking, subscribing, commenting, blah, 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 go check the description, because you can download the deck tracker for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel down there. It's a super useful tool that allows you, to import and export deck lists, share them with your friends, track your stats, find out how well you're doing, see what the local meta is if you're playing in bronze, whatever. It's a super useful tool made by the same people who made the deck tracker for MTG Arena, Hearthstone, Marvel Snap. Super cool people. So grateful for them for sponsoring us. So use our link, go check that out. Another thing too is this video is not sponsored by HelloFresh. However, our Twitch streams currently are being sponsored by them. So shout outs to HelloFresh. They are America's #1 meal kit, and we have a code which you can use when you sign up for HelloFresh to get 50% off of your order. I think it amounts to like 12 free meals or something like that, which is insane. So if you need groceries, go use our code. I think for like $50 you get like a week or 2 of groceries. Like, it's kind of crazy. I've been living off of HelloFresh recently, but this video is not sponsored, so I'm not going to keep talking about that. Go use the code though. It does help us out, and I want you guys to eat. So we're gonna hop over to Master Duel here. So this is our alternate account, and you guys might remember this from a previous video. It is down in platinum right now, so kind of ignore that. But if you saw our last video, the ladder is only just started. I'm recording this at like 6 a.m. on March 3rd, so it's been up for like 24 hours. Our main account's already Master 1. So what we're going to be doing, and if you want to come check us out, this is your incentive to come check out the Twitch. I'm going to be grinding this account up to Master 1 using this deck list for you guys. So if you do want to see how this deck is played, I'm going to be playing it on stream, so come check us out over on Twitch. Also, oh god, I saved a lot of replays. I don't remember which one it is. I didn't watch. But also, since you guys have been following it and are just curious, this is our Master Duel ID, so go check that out. I post replays on there sometimes that I don't post on YouTube, so go check that out. I'm going to hop into this, and we're just going to pretend like I'm not gonna have to restart the video if this is the wrong one. So hopefully this is one take Andy. Okay, sorry for that little jump cut. I queued up the wrong one. I found it though. So we're here. Hi. So I'm just gonna start off here with the bike and go for Wakaushi. So if you don't know, this is still Dragon Link, but we are using the Super Heavy Samurai engine just as a way to get started and provide some protection for us, because we are using the Dragoonity cards. Those cards are very powerful, but they are also a little bit frail. So here you can see me just kind of going through the motions. But fun fact, did you know that literally any Super Heavy Samurai card is full Dragon Link combo plus a Baron? So that's why we play those. So here we're going to get Veilered. I have double Called By in my hand, so I'm just going to negate that. Normally here, if I didn't have double Called By, if it was just like one Called By, I'd just say, sure, whatever, I don't care. And I would just let that go. But we have double, so you know what? We're just going to let it get negated. And it's good for you guys because I get to show you guys the uninterrupted full combo. So we're going to go for the Excel. We're going to trigger our Soul Piercer. This is I'm not going to bother explaining this stuff for you guys. If you guys want a more in-depth explanation on like how to play Super Heavy Samurai. I have one on the channel. You can go check that out. This isn't a Super Heavy video. This is a Dragon Link video. But the idea is we get to this point here where we get the Baron the Fleur, and now that we're protected, we go Soul Peacemaker onto the Scarecrow, and we summon Scales from our deck. Scales gets back any level 4 Super Heavy, and we overlay into Force Strix. Force Strix being a Wing Beast that searches a Wing Beast is pretty cool for us, because we get to search Zephyros the Elite. I'll Pendulum summon 2 guys, and then we'll go for Romulus. So if you didn't already know, if you're a Dragon Link player but didn't know this, Romulus can be made with either dragons or winged beasts. So that's kind of the synergy here and how we get into our dragon engine. So now that we have Zephyros in the grave, I'm going to bounce back one of my Super Heavy Scales because the 2 cards in our hand are pretty decent. And just to show you that, like, you know, this is super linear, you know, you don't even necessarily need a discard in your hand to do this because you can just bounce back your Scale and discard that. And because we don't already have access to Remus, I'm going to search Remus, and I'm going to use Remus to search another Dragon Ravine. I'm then going to summon Remus to the field because I control a Dragoonity and synchro it with the Zephyros for Gatorg. And now, if you've ever seen, like, Dragoonity combos before, you know that if Gatorg hits the board, I'm just going to do whatever I want. This card is crazy. This card is Lavalval Chain that is not once per turn, and we can summon it, like, 5 times in a turn. So this card is very, very crazy. I do have the Lubellion here, so while I did dump the Samsara Dragon, which is usually what you're going to be dumping if you know, have to go through seals, if all you have is just the Gatorg, I did have the Magnemite to go into the Xyz immediately, but just know that you don't have to have the Magnemite to do this combo. It just made my life easier in this replay. So here I'm just going to go for the Black Metal, summon the Striker. I'm going to trigger both my guys, and, you know, we're protected, so, you know, our opponent I don't think was lighting up with anything, so we're just going to, you know, get to play and kind of just go through the motions. I'm going to banish my Striker, go Red MD, get back our Gatorg. As a quick note, pretty much you always want to be summoning Gatorg whenever you have the opportunity to. So if the opportunity presents itself, you're summoning this card. And here you can see I'm searching Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. This is the reason why I think that this is a viable build of this deck, is because we're setting up protection for ourselves to do something kind of degenerate, which is to Buster Lock the opponent. We're kind of going back to the root of Dragon Link. So we're going to go Lubellion, sack off the Red MD, and then get my regained. And then because the Super Heavy was a level 2 tuner, I'm just going to go ahead and make Dispatter super, super early, get back the Wakaushi that we banished earlier, and then I'm going to go for Saryuya Skull Dread, and I'm just going to draw some cards. And you can see here, we drew a bunch of cards, didn't need any of them. I found Tracer, so I'm going to summon that out. Any level 4 or lower dragon here works. And then I'm just going to summon Pisty, use the Gatorg again, surprise! And I'm going to go for DMZ Dragon here and pitch this. So if you don't know what DMZ Dragon does, this card's really, really cool. It's a card that has seen some very fringe play in Dragon Link. I want to say around 2020, late 2020, early 2021, somewhere in that area, when we still had LP and Union Carrier had just gotten banned. So what this card is this is Union Carrier for dragons. You can target a level 4 or lower dragon in your grave, and a dragon you control, equip the target in your graveyard to the monster on the field as an equipped skill that makes it gain 500 attack. Fun fact, it also has a secret effect in the graveyard where you can just, if a monster with an equip spell attacks, you can send the equip spell to get it to attack again. And that can actually come up quite a bit if you're looking for lethal. So DMZ is a really cool card because, what's it called? The Buster Well doesn't have to be equipped by like its own effect or anything. So if you equip Buster Well or Buster Sword through DMZ Dragon, you are applying the Buster Lock to your opponent, so you're locking them out of their extra deck. So here I'm going to go for Seals, and you know, we could just be cool here, but we have Samsara, so I'm going to Samsara, add back the Magnemite, tribute off the Seals, and now Seals is another copy of a LP, so we have resolved the Heretic Atum and the Seals. So, you know, lots of different ways to just do whatever with this deck. And then I get my Tracer out, you know, and again, I didn't necessarily have to go through that because I could have gone, you know, Dragon Ravine, pitch, called by, and then play Boot Sector, and I'd be in exactly the same spot, just with a Gator on the field. However, I didn't want to pitch the call by. So we went through the Samsara Dragon, and I'm just showing you, like, we're floating 4 cards in our hand. Like, this is crazy. I'm going to go through the second striker here because we're still protected, so this is super, super safe. I'm going to go for the Recharger. Recharger effect can activate and then summon out the DMZ Dragon. So this is kind of what you're going to be doing. So, like, this deck can get kind of freestyle-y through hand traps. This was obviously, like, we got hand trapped, but I called by it. So this is, like, me playing uninterrupted and getting everything. If you have to play this deck kind of freestyle, this is kind of what you're aiming for, is a situation where you have Dispatter or another dragon. It doesn't have to be Dispatter. Ideally, it is. But a big dragon plus Rocket Tracer and DMZ Dragon. DMZ Dragon is going to equip the Buster Whelp to the other dragon, and then you use the DMZ Dragon to synchro for Savage. One benefit to doing this and, like, not wanting, like, so something that you want to avoid is, like, having Savage here and then, like, a DMZ and equipping to the Savage with the Buster Lock, because if you play into, like, a Kaiju or something, like, if your opponent Kaijus you, you're losing an Omni Negate and your Buster Lock. This way, if they Kaiju you, they have to Kaiju your Dispatter, which then gets brought back off of Branded Regained, and all you're really losing is the Buster Lock. So it makes the board a little bit harder to clear. So I'm going to set the call by now, and then I search Druid's Worm. If I didn't set call by, like if this was just a hand trap, we'd have 5 cards in our hands, plus Seals, Dispatter, Savage, Baron, and a Buster Lock, with Regained up. So I don't think they're winning the game. Dragon Link is dead, totally dead without Wyverburster. Yeah, it's so dead. Look at how dead my pet deck is. Isn't this dead? And speaking of Kaijus, I get Kaiju'd immediately. Funnily enough, they didn't Kaiju the Buster Lock because they Kaiju'd the Savage. And this is partly where that little bit of advice gets in handy, because you're playing against Master Duel players. They might just be brain offed a little bit and not realize what this card does. And you'll see that they quickly found out, because they put 2 level 8s on the field. Why game bug? They couldn't go in their extra deck, and they conceded. So shoutouts to that. This deck's very, very strong for that reason, and now is the reason you guys are here. I'm going to queue up the deck list for you guys. So if you do have the Yu-Gi-Oh deck tracker through untap.gg that you can download using the link in our description, you can just import this whole deck list using the code that's going to be in the description as well as in the Discord. So you can use that code to just import this, so you don't have to, like, know what these card names are. But if you do want, I'm going to go through them all. I'm going to read them out. Like, I'm going to explain the deck profile, blah, 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 blah. But just in case you forget and you don't want to type, like, 75 cards into Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and copy paste them, big reason to go download that. So go do it. Anyway, this is the deck list. So it looks like a bit of a pile, and it is. But there's a method to my madness. Trust me, I've played this deck a lot. So I'm just going to go through it. Obviously, you can see that there are still 3 Soul Piercer in this deck. This is before the ban list comes into effect. I think it comes into effect relatively soon, but trust me, it does not matter. You can just cut one for a 3rd Lubellion, which I'll be doing when the ban list takes effect. But I will just, for now, I will show you the deck list like this. So starting off, we have 3 Soul Piercer. This is, of course, 1 card starter. 3 Wagon, this card searches Soul Piercer, so it's a 1 card starter. 3 Wakaushi, which is a 1 card starter. 3 Bike, which is a 1 card starter. Are you sensing a theme here? And then we play 2 Big Benki, as well as the 1 copy of Super Heavy Samurai Scales. And that's the Super Heavy engine. As you saw from the combo, these all these cards, so it's like 3, 6, 9, 12 1 card starters. If you draw any of these cards, you get the full Dragon Link combo that I showed, plus the Baron protection, which is really strong. You know, you get literally full Dragon Link combo plus protection. And even if things go wrong, even if you get disrupted and you get hand trapped, whatever, you know, you might not get full, like, Buster Lock, whatever combo, you still get a Dragon Link combo. You're still going to have, like, a Seals, a Savage, a Dispatter, like a Baron, like, whatever. Like, they are gonna have to like throw so much at you to stop you if these cards resolve. So they're really good. Fun fact too, by the way, with this deck, it's something that's not shown. I think it was shown in the previous video, is you don't actually go through your spell cards until way late in this combo. So you can actually like Saryuya, like you can start with the Dragon Link half of the deck, go for like a Saryuya or something, draw into the Samurai engine, and then start playing the Samurai half of the deck after starting with the Dragon Link half of the deck. The synergy is there because, and even with the spell cards, it doesn't actually matter because the only cards in the deck that are affected by having spell traps in the grave are Bike, Wakaushi, and Benki Search. All the other ones don't care. So you're fine. You're fine with these cards. So yeah, these cards are good. So that's it for the Samurai half of the deck. Moving this, it's so messy on Master Duel, like trying to navigate this. We played for the Dragon Link stuff. We played the 3 black metal, obviously, as well as the Red MD and the 1 Meteor Dragon. We're playing Meteor Dragon because I'm already playing Gamma. Gamma's pretty strong in this deck because no matter which side of the deck that you're starting on, your opponent has a lot of opportunities to max C you or droll you or ash you on stuff that you don't want to get interacted with. So Gamma's really strong. If this card resolves on your turn, you immediately win. And it's also probably the best hand trap in the game other than max C. So shout out to this card. So Black Metal Engine, pretty strong. 1 card starter. On the Dragon side, let's see. I'm like trying to do this in a way that makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense. As for the Dragoonity stuff, we play the 3 Remus. So Remus searches Dragon Ravine. This is probably the most important card in your deck. So if you haven't played with the Dragoonity stuff before, Remus is the card that makes the deck kind of work because this card searches you Dragon Ravine and then it can summon back. And you know, so ideally what you're going to do is you're going to go like if all you have is Remus, you're going to go Remus, add Ravine, pitch a card, add Legatus, which is here. And then summon Legatus because you control Ravine, summon back Remus because you control Dragoonity, make Gatorg, and then you're going to start searching and foolishing all your cards. Like you can search the Zephyros, the Elite that we play, bounce back the Dragon Ravine, make your Romulus, blah, 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 blah. So that's what this card does. This card gets you the full combo. But everything that you're doing in this deck is just to get you to Remus and to protect the Remus. Because if this card resolves, if you get the Remus engine going, you just win the game. So that's part of why we play the Samurais, is to just make sure that the Remus goes through and is safe, because not only does any Samurai search you Remus, it also protects your Remus. So shout outs to the Samurais. So I just mentioned that we played Zephyros, obviously, Speed and Legatus as well. The other Dragoonity cards that we play is 1 Mistleton and 1 Glow, because when you do have to use just a Remus combo, for example, like, so say you're starting on just Remus, you're going to be searching the Glow off of Romulus, which might feel weird because you're used to searching Dragon Ravine, but sometimes you're going to search that Glow, use Glow to search Mistleton, summon itself by sending the Romulus, equipping the Gatorg from your graveyard, and then banishing Glow to summon the Gatorg, and then you go into your Atum, and that's how you start the combo. So you have to play those just for the fact that, you know, that is one of the ways that you have to start playing the game when all you have is Remus. So for that reason, we play these. As for the rest of the Dragon stuff, it's pretty straightforward. We play a small rocket engine with a Tracer, 2 Tracer, 1 Recharger, Absolrator, with the 2 Quick Launch and Boot Sector. You'll see in like the extra deck, we're not playing like Borland and stuff like that. You don't really need them, but these are just kind of here because they're your synchro, these are your tuners. Funnily enough, you can also use Wakaushi as your dark level 4 tuner if it ever comes up. But the fact that Tracer gets you into the Recharger, which can then summon back DMZ Dragon, is really the main reason that you're playing it, is just as a way to reborn and get this on the field once you've dumped it. So this engine isn't as important as it might be in other Dragon Link builds, but it does serve a very important purpose, so we still do play it. And then to round out the Dragon stuff, we just play a super small Bestial engine. I'm playing like 2 Lubellion, 1 Magnemite, 1 Druis. You don't really need to play any of the other ones. This feels weird because this is a Dragon Link deck, but the Bestial cards don't contribute as much as you would think they do, because you're mostly starting with the Samurai cards, or you're starting with the Dragoonity stuff. So you're not really looking to get into the Bestials in the way that you were in other deck lists. You can see that there's no Levianeer in this deck. There's no Seiferts. So this plays a little bit differently than other Dragon Link decks. This is kind of like a more all-in combo version of Dragon Link. So these kind of like mid-rangey tools aren't as important, but they do help cover some relevant matchups right now in like Branded and Terulement. So that's useful. And remember, as a substitution, when Soul Piercer goes to 2, you just cut that and you play the 3rd Lubellion. You could also play 1 Saronir if you wanted to. Maybe if you just feel like you need it. But that's about it for all the engine stuff. For the random one-ofs that I haven't mentioned, you play the DMZ, obviously, the Buster Lock, obviously. I think I forgot to mention that we play Soul Peacemaker, but you obviously play it. And then you play this 1 Samsara Dragon. If you don't know what Samsara Dragon does, basically you can banish it from your graveyard to add a level 5 or higher dragon from your grave back to your hand. Then optionally you can normal summon it by performing an additional tribute summon. So the idea there is you make a Seals and then you add back like a level 6, like a Bestial or a Mistletoe, and then you tribute over your Hieratic Seals, trigger the Hieratic Seals as a extra LP or something like that. You saw that in the combo that I showed you earlier. So it's there. I feel like I don't go through this as often as I feel like I should, but it comes up. Oh, and then the other one of is Ringo Worm, the 100 Apple Dragon. This is just strictly better than playing Miss Valley Baby Rock, so just play this instead. Yeah, it's just strictly better because you get the body, and then if you go for Dispatter, it gives you a card to summon back off of Dispatter eventually. So it's 2 bodies instead of 1. As for the spells, just the Glow, the 3 Ravine, because this card's a starter in this deck. Boot Sector, Regains, Quick Launches, Call Buys, etc. As for hand traps, there's not as much space as I would like, so it's just 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, and a Nibiru in the Gammas. Because these cards all help you, like, these ones help you play on your turn by defeating Maxi. This is Maxi, and Nibiru is something that you can draw into off of Maxi if you need it. So those are options. If you want to change up the defensive lineup, you can, but there's not a lot of flexibility in this deck list, so be a little careful if you try to do that. As for the extra deck, before this video becomes like 50 minutes, we played the 1 Gatorg. Obviously, this is what makes the deck work. The 1 Savage, the Excel Stardust, because this is part of the Samurai combo. The Baron, the Dispatter, so 5 Synchros. The Force Tricks for the Super Heavy Samurai combo. This lets you turn any Samurai into full Dragon Link combo. Hieratic Atum, because it's LP. The 1 Pisty. The 1 Scarecrow. This card's really, really strong. You're not going to play more of this, but you do have to play the 1 because that is how you get your extra body for Soul Peacemaker after you make your Baron. We play 2 Striker because obviously 2 Seals because sometimes you have to tribute it off for Samsara Dragon, Romulus, and Saryuya. A quick note with the extra deck, there are a couple substitutions you can make, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. The second Seals, like I was mentioning with the Samsara stuff, is I'm not sure if the Samsara is strictly necessary for doing these combos when I've been pathing them out. Like, obviously I used it in the replay that I showed you guys, but, you know, I think a lot of the times that we're going for Samsara Dragon, like, more often than not, we don't need to go through it, and you should still be able to make the Seals. So you might be able to cut one of the Seals for a Borland or something if you're just struggling going second with this deck. I'm not positive on that. That's something you can test. I haven't yet, but this is your reminder that you can come watch us on Twitch, where I'm going to be streaming this pretty much all week, getting this account up to Master 1 and, you know, stress testing this deck list. So come check us out over there. But I might change that out for a Borland. I'm not entirely sure. But fun fact, Snake Eye decks struggle to beat a Borland. So maybe it's a good backup plan. Yeah. Yeah. So right now it's 2 seals, but potentially this is cuttable. So this is like the 1 flex spot in the extra deck. But yeah, and then the Saryuya and Romulus, obviously. Yeah, more or less straightforward. I'll try to stop eating up all of your time because I feel like this video has been going on for forever. But remember to like, comment, subscribe. Say goodbye to Twitch chat. They can say goodbye to you. HelloFresh and the untapped.gg in the descriptions below. I'm going to be on Twitch grinding this deck to Master 1. But yeah, goodbye.